Your love, I'm gonna make you mine. There's something special about your love. I think it's one of a kind.
Alright guys, so we decided to stay home today. We've been trying to get ahead of editing, spend some quality time. This week I only worked 2 days this weekend, so it's not that bad, just a Saturday, Sunday. Hear me say that now and it be the worst weekend ever. So stay with me. Pray for me.
Pray for me.
So we went straight into it. We decided to not bother to go on the road today. It's like Friday, it's like 6 or something right now. I know we haven't turned on the camera all day. Yeah, so Father's Day weekend. I'll try to remember it's Father's Day and call all of my peeps, my cousins, my uncle, my father, of course, you know, all the fathers out there. So if you're not told in advance, or if you're a father figure, I'm no disrespect to anybody, but I'm not talking about fur babies and whatever else people want to call their dogs now. I'm talking about like real children. You're part of your village, whether you are the actual father or you play a small role in just being that father figure. You know, big up to you. I decided to take on some cleaning projects around the house. Of course, the kitchen is again kind of a mess, but we're just gonna work on it. It's just gonna constantly be a work in progress. I do want to go to the store, so you guys stop seeing me walk around with just wife beaters all the time. But I'm in my house. I mean, yo, I've invited you into my house. What can I say? Hopefully we do some road blogs and you guys see that I'm not always bumming it. My thing that I'm focused on right now, take a look here, that way, is going to be organizing the fridge. So I want to give you a good shot of the fridge beforehand. And some people might be like, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is this. Between our 2 refrigerators, we still find a way to have things hiding in the back of the fridge that end up spoiling or going bad. Mostly our vegetables, our greens, our fruits. And it's just not all that organized. We try to have, like, you know, certain things in certain areas. But for a household that has 2 refrigerators, there's really no excuse for why we're not maximizing this, and it's just more neat and less like, you know, if you need this, you go out to the garage. If you need that, you come into the kitchen. They're not that far away where it's gonna be some big task. We're not walking from the right wing of the mansion to the left wing of the mansion. So I am going to focus on trying to get that done. On top of that, you guys are finally going to watch some videos edited by me. So if you start seeing the quality change, dip a little bit, please just bear with me. Your learning curve. I am not as versed with it as Lisa, but Lisa will tell you in the one day that I really sat down and earnestly tried to learn to edit, she learned something, because I was just like, well, why can't I do this, and tried it and it worked. So, you know, remember when you're out there teaching, when you're tutoring something, you're never always too advanced to learn something, even from your student too. So anyway, we're gonna cook, and we are going to try not to tire ourselves out, because we're gonna try to do another on our BS. I'm kind of getting excited about it, because we're gonna try to add something into the format, so look to that show to getting better. But first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for subscribing, hitting the bell notification, hitting the thumbs up. All of that stuff helps us. Helps us beat the algorithm, helps us get more impressions, more sites, and those things. Every little bit helps. So you guys watching at home, of course, helps. But if you hit the bell notification, if you hit the thumbs up, if you subscribe, please, even if it's showing up, subscribe. That all helps us. So I'm thanking you in advance. Okay, let's get into this refrigerator and see what we can do here. Alright, so obviously I'm going to need Lisa's input on top of just starting to clean out stuff. I don't know if I'm really going to be able to really show you guys the cleaning process itself but I'll show you as much as I can. Some of it obviously is gonna be fast forwarded. So let's hit the fast forward button. Oh, one sec. Again, I will probably be listening to some tunes, but because of YouTube, again, you guys are not gonna hear that. So if you want to, for whatever reason, clean along with me or know what's the playlist, I don't know. I think I'll go in Junior Gang, halfway through, old school, right? So if you see me jamming out, that's probably what I'm listening to. So, change of plans. Lisa actually pointed out something. The office needs some work. So, that's what it's all about. It's being dynamic. I had originally had my thought like, yes, I'm going to focus on this. Lisa pointed out that that probably takes priority, and rather than getting stuck in my mindset and being like, yo, no, but I plan to do this, I concede to the fact that she's pointing out something that's going to help all of us, including you guys, because we can get to set up the mics, clean up the things, get our laundry from out of there, and as well as give you guys some multiple angles trying to get the quality up on that show. So shout out to my wife making sense with that one, and shout out to me for not getting stuck in my ways. Anyway, I don't know if you guys can really see the difference, but I did get through the door, cleaned the door out, and tried to organize the things a little bit better. But real quick, how I ended up organizing it, I have, these are more like seasonings and like sauces to put together, stuff that would be needed to be cooked. These here are condiments, things that won't need to be cooked. This is Lisa's collection of time, because you can never have enough time. Some lemon juice, and then this, to be honest, really belongs here, but I don't have the space for it, so I just put it there. And the last rack here is our open wine rack, or the wines that we're currently chilling. So probably might even add another bottle in there for tonight on our BS. Let's see. As I said, we're trying to get stuff done but not tire ourselves out. And also Kellan did have a power nap today, so not sure how well going to sleep is gonna go. So pray for us. Let's see where we can get with that. But anyway, let's get up into the office and get that set up so you guys can see an improvement. This part is gonna have to be tackled at another time. It is what it is.
So it go.
So it go.
And in order to improve our vlogs, we try to do different angles, different views. You know, we're just trying to get better for you, get better for ourselves, because, you know, it puts a smile on our face when we see the end product and we're like, damn, we did that. So that's what we're doing now.
Yo, random thing growing up with Jamaican parents, right? You know, like things that they would bother you about, like how you talk with certain things, like first of all, like speaking patois in the house. Like other people are trying to preserve their like culture and like
dialects and stuff like
that. But it was funny because it was like if they ever caught you twanging, putting on like an American accent,
not speaking,
they'd be like,
Queen's
hey
English.
man, blah blah blah, and they start making fun of you for that, right? And me was coming down from America all the time. I'd get that from like my aunts, uncles, grandma, everybody, right? But what was funny too is like if you start talking patois, they're like, speak the Queen's English. Basically, it was the attitude that you're getting.
Yeah.
So that was one thing.
Yeah.
But like I'm freaking up one thing that like I noticed a lot of people you have to deal with. You ever called like someone a black man in front of like your parents or someone?
Black man?
Yeah, and watch them like lose their mind over it?
No.
So this used to happen a lot, like auntie them, I'm not gonna call which one because enough of them did do it, but like it's like you're telling a story and it's like, yo, Then this big black man come around the corner. It's like, black man? Was he black? Like his skin color was actually black? And you're like, no. It's like, oh, and you're like, yo, who talks like that? Like, you're looking at them as an adult, like, you want me to say like this bauxite skin colored man came around.
Yeah,
you're describing the man by like, yo, the race or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of silly because you'd wonder like why it was coming up in Jamaica with predominantly, you know, black nation. But it's like you're just describing this, yo, this big black brother come around the corner, blah blah blah.
And they want to stop the story.
And they want to stop the whole story and just like
address
black, like is he actually black? His skin color was like the color of the night. He was black, and you're like, no, like why acting like you don't understand
like
what that means? You've never heard that, or it's like a new invention, like you had invented race all of a sudden, or like you know, this white man coming, he's white, like what, like white like a sheet, or like blah blah blah, and I just be like, yeah, they won't bother tell the story.
Yes, you're like, never mind. I don't want to tell a story.
It's alright.
Like,
don't worry about it.
The urge to tell the story is done. Like, it's done.
Yo, worse than that, Zine, everybody gonna know who we're talking about with this. If you was telling a story and there was a plant involved and you couldn't mention the name of that plant, that story done in front of Auntie, you know, you can't.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was like, which plant? And you're like, oh, don't worry. It's over. I give up.
I know which auntie that is.
So, while we all know crazy plants and like when I would like date or like talk to a girl and I'd be like, oh yeah, this concept or this or that, and Rafi go through it all the time too. It's like people be like, yo, I don't know so much about plants and botany and rare, and I'm like, trust me, we've been versed in it. But yeah, we'll just stop the whole story, and then the kicker is them parents wonder why kids don't want to talk to them. them parents like, yo, maybe because like you critique every which way that I tell the story. I talking with too much patois, I talking with too little patois. Like, I remember getting stopped in the middle of a story about school because I said the word Z instead of Z. That was a whole thing too in Jamaica. Z versus Z. And that was like important enough to stop the story.
Okay.
That reminded me of like later on when we became teenagers, and it was like, I don't know if them was just trying to prove like, hey, I love girls so bad or whatever. But like you'd always have that one friend or cousin or something, and you're telling a story and you're like, yeah, the girl blah blah. Which girl? She look good? And you're like, bro, that has
I've seen that
to do with the damn story.
Yeah.
And every girl that get mentioned along the line of the story, she look good? She look good. Brother, I'm talking about our cousin. Can you calm down? It was just like, girl, which, she look good? She look good? Chef man? Hey, bro.
I've been privy to that.
But yeah.
So we're gonna start dinner and do some behind the scenes stuff for you guys, like I said. So catch us a little later. I'll keep checking it, but I don't know if Dan's gonna show you before and after pictures of our studio / office and all that stuff. Because right now it's going through some things. But we're gonna watch Jeopardy. It's Jeopardy time, guys, so we really gotta go. All right, backstory. It is Juneteenth weekend. Sunday will be June 19th. We are filming this on June 17th. It's Friday, and ABC has this special on that's supposed to be celebrating Juneteenth. Action.
Alright, so first things first. I don't know why it took me all this time to realize that Juneteenth was gonna fall on Father's Day. So it's even more reason to celebrate the holiday for me personally. To people that might be looking at Juneteenth, like what we're celebrating that for, I've heard like the woke take on it is like, oh, slavery didn't end there, and still didn't end there, and also, you know, there's gonna be the prison pipeline starting there. Listen, if you get the celebration, celebrate it when you can. Yes, like if you're gonna do that, you can do that to any holiday. I mean, Thanksgiving isn't what they say it really is, but if you assign your own meaning to it, and just celebrate the good parts. You know, you can make the best of it. So there's that. Anyway, the reason why we're doing spaghetti and Lisa's gonna make some cheddar biscuits. But anyway, the reason the camera had to be turned on is ABC. ABC, you said?
Yes.
So ABC is airing this Juneteenth thing, right? As
It
Lisa
had
is saying.
BET on it as well. So.
Yeah.
But I think they're all owned by the same.
Yeah, they're all the same. You know, Viacom and all of them own each other. I don't know. There's like 6 corporations that really own all of this stuff, right? So anyway, so they're playing this music documentary thing. I'm not against that. Celebrate black music and whatever. But what does that have to do with Juneteenth? As I'm watching this, they just kind of slapped on this like thing at the beginning and made this weird like connection between slaves singing hymns and doing other things, and somehow that equals Juneteenth, and here comes a whole thing that looks like it was like some leftover thing from Black History Month, and they didn't know what to do with it, or they were like, oh, we didn't have anything ready for Juneteenth, so let's just throw out this like music, black music thing. Now don't get it twisted. I'm all for the celebration of black music, obviously, right? Like I'm not knocking that, and to those of you who are enjoying it, fine, but this could play any day of the year. Literally, you could celebrate black music in the same fashion. And what does this have to do with Juneteenth? If you don't know anything about Juneteenth, what is this teaching you about Juneteenth? Nothing, because it doesn't even look like it has anything to do with Juneteenth. We're literally left it on the TV, besides the fact that we're in the kitchen and like are just passively listening to it, to just waiting for them to make the connection. Like, where does this connect with Juneteenth? Like, no disrespect, but what does Sierra and Luther Vandross and Jay-Z and Nas and all these people have to do with Juneteenth? Like, I don't like those connections, because to somebody who doesn't know what we're celebrating on Juneteenth, they're gonna watch this and they're still not gonna know what you're celebrating Juneteenth about. To those who are like, oh, black people have their own month and all this and whatever. No, this is not what the celebration is about. It's not what the history is about. And this is why I'm getting more and more obnoxious about this holiday. This is why I'm saying we should go as far as appropriating fireworks into it. Make the celebration big, loud, boisterous. You know, like, yeah, of course, you know, if we do follow through with that, I'm sure Lisa was actually saying, like, you know, that I'm going to start like trying to sell fireworks like June 20th, just to spite that if people did really start following me with that. Well, then save your fireworks from the year before. Make the celebration just as big as anything else, because it is a part of American history. It is not something for only black people to celebrate. Unless you have a problem with that and you thought that slavery was right, I don't see if who can't celebrate Juneteenth as an American. All Americans should be celebrating Juneteenth.
Facts.
Not just black people.
Facts.
Unless you're saying, oh, it wasn't going to affect me, I don't care either way, or you thought slavery was right, everybody should be celebrating it. ABC, do better. You big corporations, do better. Don't just slap, like, yes, I am thankful when I see black entertainment being celebrated, but I don't understand what Juneteenth has to do with black music per se. Like, yes.
I was saying with the slaves singing the hymns and stuff like that, that was a form of communication. That was a form of
But that's such a reach, babe. That's what I'm saying. That's a reach.
But if that's what you're gonna do, your linkage, if the people that are gonna perform are gonna do the hymns and those type of like storytelling within their music in this performance, I don't mind that. But where we both were like, no, we have to turn this off, is there's a part where they were talking about Sierra.
Again, what are we performing in celebration of? You haven't educated anybody on that.
I thought they were gonna go further in, but
it just seems like, hey, we're gonna tap dance and do a song, and hey, here's another celebration of black entertainers. Can we do better than that? Educate people on where Juneteenth comes from. Tell them the background. Or is that too ugly and too, I don't know. Like, yo, it's part of our history as Americans. We get off the soapbox. Randomly we started watching American Gods again, and like there was a whole thing about Anansi and why the show like kind of was falling apart and all of that, and like it went viral. Anansi's like speech to the would-be slaves on like one of the ships, as he like leads this like revolt on there. Look for that video, and like they couldn't understand, and people were like saying, oh, they're making Anansi too angry and this and that, and it's like, but this is the kind of thing that feeds into like black rage, in my opinion. Lisa thinks she's smart, you know. She like to con me that she don't know how to do this because she like to feed my ego like, yeah.
Let me tell you something.
You do it.
When I season the meat, he's like, what you put in it? That's the first thing he does.
Oh man. Now instead of taking it as a partner in the kitchen, Lisa is taking it as an attack on her culinary skills. No, bro, I ain't attacking you.
Spaghetti or soybean rolls.
This is 1 pound of ground lamb and 1 pound of, what is it? What is the split again? Is it 80-20?
Ooh, I don't know.
We don't normally go for the more lean, but it's 80-20 grass-fed, I believe it is what the split is. Which is actually the cheaper of the two. The more lean it is the more expensive it is. But I like the fattier one. It's a little bit more flavorful, a little bit more juicy, better price, but it's organic, 100% grass-fed. And we live, unfortunately, in a country where you can't even just look at something saying grass-fed. It has to say 100% grass-fed, because grass-fed doesn't mean grass-fed.
Grass finished. That's what you should say.
Grass? No. There's two of them. So
that's the one.
There's grass-fed, grass finish, which means the same thing as 100% grass-fed. Because grass-fed means at some point it ate grass, and what they can do is at the end like fatten it up with grain, which defeats the purpose of grass feeding the animal.
So that's grass-fed.
That's grass-fed. But 100% grass-fed or grass-fed at grass finish is the same thing.
Okay.
So there are two ways to say it. Grass-fed, grass finish means that it ate grass all the way through, or 100% grass-fed means that it had 100% grass-fed. But grass-fed is like they keep finding little creepy ways to do things, like, you know, like, or the next one is now like organic. And it's like, oh, we fed it organic grain. Yeah, but it's not supposed to eat grain in the first place. So that's another step on your food journey. That after a while you start to go, you know what? Just give me a hamburger. I give it up. Alright, so I'm not too sure. When I asked Lisa her opinion on this. This is Good and Gather. So this is from Target. Try to make their natural or their organic stuff little higher quality, quote unquote. So this is a spread. Baby, come help me here. How you pronounce that? You know I'm not the best.
Calabrian chilies, sea salt. Read it yourself, people. Calabrian chilies, sea salt, and hand chopped beef. So you want to try that one tonight?
No, I'm saying I wish you guys could smell this. It smells a lot better than it looks.
Yeah.
But I'm actually thinking to throw it in with the sauce.
Yeah, I've done that before.
So, and throw a little wine in there too.
It has a little tartness though.
I don't mind, because we're probably gonna add sugar anyway to the mix. So this is supposed to actually be used as a spread, or like a bread.
I put it on.
Which sounded very strange to me, but I can
like
taste
like
it and kind of tell. Yeah. Very those like, I know we get killed by, our generation gets killed by avocado toast, but very avocado toast, you know, like toast, open sandwich kind of concept kind of thing.
That with some pear would be nice for me.
But yeah, that in the tomato basil based pre-made spaghetti sauce, as well as a little bit of brown sugar. We're trying to watch sugars, of course, but that's the plan. So I am like unsophisticated when it comes to food. I'm willing to try and educate myself. But like Lisa is very versed. She'll just know different things about food and stuff like that. But for the life of me, the one thing that she seems to be unsophisticated about is the difference between marinara sauce and spaghetti sauce.
I don't like marinara.
But she just acts like they're interchangeable.
I don't like them.
Like the other day I was like, yo, we can't make no pizza without having no pizza sauce with marinara sauce. She's like, yeah, but we have spaghetti. I'm like, no, they're not the same thing. Otherwise, you know, can't talk to Lisa, I'm telling you. Like, bouge. Not bougie. Bouge, like the bouge when it comes to food. Anyway, now that I've talked myself into trouble, let's skip on forward. Alright, so Kellan never really get no outside time today. And he had a power nap, so filming on our BS is gonna be a little difficult unless we really tire him out. But we're outside out front. One of the houses to the side, I don't know if you guys have been watching the vlog, that I can remember when there was literally nothing there and it was just our house there. I already sound like an old head in the neighborhood, but they're fast approaching completion of all of them now. Just outside, Lisa is doing the spaghetti right now. Sorry about the lighting. In no time flat he'll be asking me to open the garage door, but for now let's get some fresh air and zone out. Only thing making noise is him, and don't really mind that. If that was the only noise I had to listen to, rather than beeping from monitors and alarms and all kind of stuff like that from work or hustle and bustle, I'll take his noise over that any day. Anyway, see you guys inside.
Dinner served. It is a beef and lamb meat sauce and some cheddar biscuits. Yum yums. Alright, cheers. Time to eat.
Love, I think it's one of a kind. There's something special about your love. I want it all the time. You will always be my inspiration.